And what we were talking about last time I spoke with you was the black stone that is worshipped at Mecca. Now, Mecca is where all Islam prays to. They face in the direction of Mecca. Mecca is in Saudi Arabia. It is where Muhammad received the vision of Allah being the only God. He allegedly received it from Gabriel. Now, at that time, 360 deities, idols, were worshipped at Mecca. And all the tribes in that area, which many are descendants of Ishmael, this is mostly what I focus on, but some aren't, but this is the thrust of the tribes of descending from Ishmael, reside in these regions, and they worshipped at Mecca, and they worshipped these deities. Now, when Muhammad had the vision, he had a vision that one was the true God, one deity. Now, this was based on the god Allat, but it isn't a god at all. It was a goddess. Allat was a triple goddess. The triple goddess Allat was concerned with the phases of the moon, and she's worshipped with the moon. And the goddess Allat is the crescent moon goddess, which became their symbol. Now, before this, Muhammad had the revelation, this idol sat with all the other idols and never made a peep that it wasn't worshipped above the idols. Now, God, our God, could never do that. When the Ark of the Covenant came in to the temple of Dagon, which was a pagan temple and a pagan idol, the idol Dagon, which was a huge stone statue, literally crumbled into pieces before the power of the living God. So if Allah was God, why was it so passive, being worshipped with all the other deities? Why wasn't Allah jealous over the people before that? I don't know. I'd like to research it a little bit more. But the triple goddess Allat became the symbol for Muhammad's worship, which became Allah. Now, Allah just means God in Arabic, but it doesn't mean Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai, the God that the Jews won't even name. We like to call Yahweh, but they won't even name this God because the name is so sacred. That God is named 9,000 times in the Bible, but is not named once in the Quran. These gods are not the same God. So what about the stone is the mystery of the stone, and when I pray against the principalities over Islam, I'm often focused on the stone, breaking the power of the stone. So what is the power of the stone? Well, the stone in my vision looks a lot like the stone that was worshipped with Aphrodite, the goddess, and I showed a picture of it before. It's a monolithic stone, which was the stone at Mecca. Inside the Kaaba is the cube. That's the cube. The Kaaba is the cube, and inside is the stone that they worship, the black stone. Now, they also call this the stone that was rejected, will become the chief cornerstone, symbolizing that Muhammad was rejected. He will become the chief cornerstone. This is taken directly from Jesus' words, that he is the stone rejected, and he is the chief cornerstone. They have also taken directly from Daniel 2:45 that this is the stone. The stone at Mecca was the stone that was hewn, not cut out of the mountain with human hands, but was given by God, and it is about the kingdom that lasts forever, the dominion forever, which was given to Messiah Jesus only. And they claim that this stone is that same stone. Now, the stone was pre-Islamic. It has been there before they worshipped it at Mecca. Many believe this was the stone connected with Isis, the goddess in Egypt. Now, this is really important, and I'm just uncovering some truth that I'll share with you soon, but the goddess of Isis is also connected with this goddess Allat, that the one of the triple goddesses is Alus, I think it's Alus. She is supposedly the mother of Allat, and she was worshipped, which is in connection with Isis, and I'll give you more information later, but also called the snake goddess. Now, this is an interesting thing too, because when I met the royal family of Saudi Arabia, how did I meet the royal family of Saudi Arabia? I am a servant of God, and I will go where He says, and I will clothe myself as He says to clothe myself. I will be lifted up, and I will be humble, and I will have a lot, and I will have nothing. And at this time, I was a waiter in this private restaurant club, and I went in private rooms, and I overheard conversations, and I was in constant intercession the whole year I was there. And it was in humility and meekness. I had no form or comeliness that anyone would desire me. But I was allowed in, and I moved an incredible amount of intercession. And I really believe it was in honor of God. And there was a lot more on that story. At that, I went into the corporate heads of America, overthrowing the corporate heads, cleaning house. And you should see the documentation I have on that. It was in the year 2002. But back to the royal family of Saudi Arabia. Now, I didn't know they were the royal family of Saudi Arabia, part of the royal family, but when they came into the restaurant club, I was aware of the major principality coming with them. And when I went to their table to serve them, they immediately disliked me, and they asked that I would not serve them at their table, and this would only happen twice the whole time I was there. One was another very interesting encounter with the principalities in India. But that night, after meeting the royal family, and after I stood in the room anyway, I had a dream, and the dream was about a snake, and the snake was as huge as a mountain range. And the mountains behind were the mountains of Saudi Arabia, but I didn't know at the time because I didn't know what the mountains looked like. I saw them later. But the snake was so terrifying that I literally died in the dream. And my bowels rushed out, and an intercessor died then in the dream for me, so I could revive because I was anointed to take down the snake. Now, I really believe the snake is a lie. The snake was a liar. The serpent was a liar. When I see a snake in the spiritual realm, I think and believe it's a lie, and this is a huge, huge lie. Now, so it's interesting to me that the stone worshipped allegedly was the altar of Isis, who was also connected with the snake goddess, so that would make a lot of sense to me, and I can't wait to research it more. Now, what I want to focus on a little bit is the shape of the stone. The shape of the stone at Mecca was shaped something like that. Now it is broken. And they also believe that's Daniel because the stone was going to be broken and the stone rejected and broken. But now it is encased in silver and is broken, so you can't see the shape of it, but it is quite a phallic shape, I think. A lot of people in this country are becoming Muslims, just regular people. Why? Because there's a spirit behind it. It is a seducing spirit that seduces you into thinking there is this one God that brings this peace, but in reality, there is a seducing spirit behind it that leads you to what? Idol worship with a stone in Mecca? They surround the stone 7 times, which is the exact same thing they did in the worship at the goddess Al-Aluz, and they surrounded the stone. The priestesses, 7 of them, surrounded the stone in the nude, and this was part of the worship of the goddess at that time. They also believe that the giver of life comes from that stone, and there's like everlasting water or life that pours out of it, and they want to kiss the stone. Could this be part of what is enslaving them in Islam? And if he's such a holy God, then why is there so much hatred and so much abuse of the children?